Hello family, how you doing? How's everything? Today I'm gonna be discussing another aspect of your Jamb Utme, and it's no other aspect than how to answer your multiple choice questions during Jamb Utme. How to answer your question is important. For you to have a perfect Jamb Utme score, you need to know how to answer your questions, and I'll be discussing that with you in today's video. The first thing I will want you to is you need to pay attention to instruction. Pay attention to what? To instructions. Before you attempt any questions, make sure you read, make sure you have read and understood all the instructions for the examinations. Be sure you go through to the end. Do not make assumptions. You have to note your time start counting when you click on the start button and you read the instruction. In paying attention to instruction is the first step to having a perfect Jamb Utme score. You don't just read it, make sure you understand it. Calm down. You've already made it to the examination hall, so you don't misuse that opportunity by not making the best out of that exam in hurry, like in haste. You're not running anywhere. You must check the subject display, and you need to confirm whether they are your choices, and you need to confirm whether the names, the details, that is the candidate details aspects, are the same as your details. And you look at the instruction. In case your mouse is not working, look at the key instruction for the keyboard. You must look at those instructions carefully. Now after that, you have to read the questions also what? Carefully. I know time management is as important as your exam itself. It's also part of the exam, but that doesn't mean you should not take your time to read your questions. You just have to train yourself to reading questions and understanding it fast during your examination. So make sure you properly go through your question, because if you do not go through your questions, there's high probability that you're going to pick the wrong options. You understand it? And when you pick the wrong option, you know what happened? You know the implication? Yes. Be sure you read and think through each question properly before picking an answer. This is because there are cases that some questions are similar to your past questions that you studied before your examination. Or there are cases of like, we have two options that are close to the answer. There will always be two options that are close to the answer. Well, one out of the two will be the real answer. So you don't fall victim. Don't assume. Avoid assumption. That is it. If you are not familiar with the use of mouse, you should know that you can make use of your letters, the letters on the keyboard for your examination. Letter A is for option A, letter B is for option B, letter C is for option C, letter D is for option D. And you are not clicking on the letters, so you are clicking on the circle, on the small circle or button behind the letters. So when you click on an answer, you will see that there's going to be a peak, like you circle something, a peak circle coming inside that small circle or button. That is important. I hope that is clear. And also, aside from the letters, if you want to move forward, you understand, you go to N. You can use N to move next. You can use P to move what? To go to the previous questions. If you mistakenly press S, S is for submission. When you press it, it will ask you, there's going to be a pop-up like, are you sure you want to submit this exam? If it is a mistake, you can press R, which is to reverse. If you're going to mistakenly press Y, it means yes, and you've submitted, and that is the end of your examination. When you submit, you don't make that mistake. You pay attention to details. And another thing you need to consider while answering your question is you have to pick one answer. When it comes to multiple choice question, it requires you to just pick one answer. And you should know that one of the tips I share on this channel is that make sure you pick the easy question first. Make sure you pick the easy question first, and skip the more challenging ones for later. But that doesn't mean you're not going to do them because of your time management. You can't spend more than 40 seconds on a question if you want to finish all your questions. And it is even advisable to spend less than 40 seconds so you will have time to verify the answers to all your questions. And we have some options that we have all of the above there, and we have none of the above. All of the above is chosen when you notice that other options are answers to the questions. So it is when you understand your question, you get to know that all the options are answers. So there's going to be one option that is going to say all of the above, is usually the last option. You only choose all of the above when you are sure that the options are correct. And the next is none of the above. You choose none of the above only when you are sure that all the above listed options are incorrect. That is very important. And the next thing is check your answer. If you still have some time left, if it's not even if you have to be intentional with it. You need to make sure you have some time left after choosing all it. Make sure you cross-check it. It is important to avoid overconfidence. You have to be careful when doing this. You understand it? Change a selected answer when you are certain that you've made a mistake. To err is human, to forgive is divine. You're prone to mistakes as human being. You have to go through all your answers to ensure that you've chosen the right answer. When you follow all these techniques on how to answer Jamb Utme question, you're going to have a perfect score. I guarantee you that. This is going to be your last Jamb Utme in terms of seeking admission. I wish you success in your forthcoming examination. Thank you.
DEE Tutors, bring your learning to your doorstep.